Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I help women who were sexually, physically, and emotionally abused as children and now have a chronic illness to get well with my holistic wellness programs, Get Well Now, where I help people with food, what you're eating, and helping them to create a diet that will help support their condition. So I create diets for specific conditions, and then environment with what are the things in the environment that could be causing or exacerbating your symptoms. And then I work with the inner work. And that's what I want to talk to you about today is I created a 4-step process called Whole Person Integration Technique. And it's 4 simple steps that have, of course, layers to it as any great process does. I created it about 14 years ago. And I actually published it in this book. This was the first book I was published in, called Inspiration to Realization, Volume 3. And oddly, I'm going to talk a little bit about this later, but the woman whose chapter is right next to mine in this book and I have now teamed up, and we're doing workshops together on healing pain, anxiety, and chronic illness. So I'm really excited to talk about this because in the workshop, I'm going to be teaching my Behind Pain, Anxiety, and Chronic Illness is the workshop. It's going to be February 24th. It's in Altadena, California. And it's a 1-day workshop with me and with Tarni Falloon. You see Diego. Look at Diego back there on the sofa. He thinks the sofa is his dog bed. And it is. Yeah, the whole thing is his. So anyway, so this 4-step process, it's pretty simple. I created this to help connect the mind and the body. It's based on other processes that I learned through my transpersonal psychology background, and also based on some of the work of Carl Jung, which is really where transpersonal psychology is rooted in that work, where we look at the consciousness of humanity. We look at the consciousness of specific things. So pain has its own consciousness, and it when it's living in your own body and it's really loud and you're hearing it and feeling it and it's really creating problems in your life, there are different ways to resolve that pain. And most people are being put on painkillers and muscle relaxers. And I was in that group for a long time. I had a lot of pain with scoliosis in my upper back and a ruptured disc in my neck. And so I helped to resolve that. It didn't resolve with the drugs. In fact, it just made it worse. But eventually it resolved, and today I'm pain-free using diet, using environment, and using this process that I created based on the work I've been doing for the last 20 years. So, but this process, the 4 things, 4-step process. The first one is we identify the emotion, and that's really very critical. I think of emotions like these negative emotions of fear, anxiety, sadness, grief, unworthiness, guilt, shame, all of those emotions. I used to think of them as negative emotions, like most of us do, but I now think of them as teaching emotions, that they're here to teach us something about who we really are, if only we would listen. Because I found that these emotions want exactly what you want. They want to be seen, heard, understood, and most of all, loved and accepted as they are. So, and then, they want the help to be able to release them. So first we identify the emotion, and then we look for where is it in the body. And then we have 4 specific questions that we ask of the emotion to find out more about it, because it's got certain beliefs that it's holding on to. And we look at where it's, hey, Sean, hey, good to see you. We look at where those emotions are located in the body, and we ask those 4 specific questions. So we're identifying and we're questioning and we're learning from these emotions that, again, just want to teach you something about who you really are. And then when we get you to understanding how that's affecting your life and how that's affecting your body through the different questions we ask it, then we do a process to release it. And before we release it, we give it support, we give it love, we give it kindness, we give it compassion, because again, I think that's all of us really want. Thank you for the hearts, guys. So we give them the compassion they want, and then the fourth step is, after we've released that emotion from where it is in the body, after we've understood it through the questions, and of course the first thing we did was identify it, the fourth thing that we do is we replace it. So this is really shifting energy, because if you think of emotions as being energy that's stored in the body along with their coinciding beliefs, then we're shifting the emotion from, say, we worked with shame. We're shifting that from shame to maybe love or compassion or confidence or caring, wherever, whatever emotion that you want to replace it with. You're going to put that in there, and then you ask that continue on with you. Now, it may sound trite, it may sound basic, it may sound like, does this really work? But after 14 years of doing this, yeah, it works. It's wonderful to watch this in my clients and to watch it in myself. And I got to tell you, I'm like, I'll let an emotion just churn and churn in me before I finally say, okay, Dr. Meg, you need to use your own process. So, and every time I do, I feel so much better. So, but then afterwards is what is the most intriguing part of doing a process like this, like whole person integration technique, is that afterwards, your reality will begin to shift and change. So the triggers that you had before, the emotional triggers, don't bother you like they used to bother you. They may still come up, but it's really, and the more you do the process, the more layers that you release of it, the more these emotions just resolve. And again, I really think it has so much to do with the energy of the emotion and being willing to listen to it, to understand it, to understand where it's located in the body and what that has to do with your life, because each one of the centers of the human energy system have different attributes. So we look at that too. So there's a lot of layers to know about this, but I love doing this with people. I love watching them grow and change over time. Even with just one session, I've watched people really make huge strides, because it's a rapid acting type of therapy, and it's also long lasting, which is really wonderful. So I know it's changed my life, and it's changed the life of hundreds of people that I've worked with. And I work virtually with people all over the world. Seriously, I've had clients in Australia and Cambodia and Spain and Canada. So anywhere you are in the world, we can do this work together. If you want more information about whole person integration technique, you can go to my website. You can even watch it. I was on the Dr. Steven Eisenberg show, Dr. Steven show, and I did this technique on him. He's an oncologist, and we looked at what it's like for him giving bad news to people every single day as an oncologist. That's kind of tough. So that's on the speaking page of my website. There's a video of this with me on the Dr. Steven show. So you get a better idea of what whole person integration technique is all about. Also, right up front on my website, for any of you who might be interested in taking the ACE quiz, what I use to help assess a person's risk factors for chronic illness, or if you already have persistent symptoms or you already have an illness. The ACE quiz is based on the ACE study. It's Adverse Childhood Experiences, and it's a 10-question quiz. It's really easy to take. It can be kind of hard to look at, but it's very important, I think. The higher your score is, the more likely you are to develop particular chronic illnesses, cancer, heart disease, diabetes. This is my story. I developed over a dozen illnesses, including fibromyalgia, mixed connective tissue disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, and it's and that was connected to childhood sexual abuse, physical and emotional abuse along the way as well. Um, so I think because I've been there, it makes me even more effective in helping others who are going through this same kind of problems. So the ACE quiz is available on my website. You can make a free consultation call with me after you take the ACE quiz, and then there's also my 10 steps to overcoming the effects of victimization, which is in my free ebook on my website. And then I have a recipe book. I was a celebrity chef in Hollywood for 10 years and helping people with diets with specific conditions. Everything's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. Basically all the major allergens are out of there. And there's a great little recipe book that comes with all of that. So it's meghaworth.com, MEGHAWORTH.com. Thank you so much for listening today. I really, really appreciate you coming on, and the hearts and the few people that are on here. Please feel free to share this video with as many people as you think may benefit from it. Again, my website is meghaworth.com, MEGHAWORTH.com. And thanks a lot for listening. Lots of love to you guys. If you need help, please contact me. I'm really easy to contact. All right. Take care, everybody.